Welcome to Red-Handed Crimes channel. Don't forget to subscribe. A knock at the door. The winter air was crisp the night 16-year-old Marcus Reed's world came crashing down. His mother, Sandra, had just set dinner on the table when the loud, forceful knock at the door shattered the evening's peace. The moment she opened it, bright police flashlights blinded her, and within seconds, Marcus was in handcuffs, accused of a crime he didn't commit. The officers barely gave an explanation. They muttered something about an armed robbery gone wrong, a victim in critical condition, and a witness pointing the finger directly at Marcus. His pleas of innocence fell on deaf ears. He was just a kid, how could they think he was capable of such violence? His mother screamed as they dragged him away, but no one listened. Marcus didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of a nightmare that would last decades. Just hours before his arrest, Marcus had been at the local community basketball court with his best friend, Jamal. The two had dreams of making it big, escaping the streets of their rough neighborhood through their love of the game. They had left just after sunset, laughing and joking as they walked home. But that same night, in a convenience store 2 blocks away, a masked gunman stormed in, demanding cash. The store clerk, Mr. Patel, hesitated. A gunshot rang out. The bullet missed him but hit a bystander, 22-year-old college student Daniel Lopez. As the gunman fled, a terrified witness caught a glimpse of a young black male in a hoodie running down the street. That single sighting would change Marcus's life forever. At the precinct, Marcus faced hours of grueling interrogation. The detectives were convinced he was guilty. "We have a witness," one of them said. "You were seen running from the scene." Marcus shook his head. "I was coming back from the court. I didn't do anything." But the system wasn't interested in his truth. He had no alibi. His mother tried to get a lawyer, but legal aid was slow, and before she could do anything, Marcus was charged with attempted murder and robbery. His public defender met him just days before trial. "We'll try to get you a plea deal," he said. But Marcus refused. He wouldn't admit to something he didn't do. The trial was a disaster. The prosecution leaned on the shaky eyewitness testimony of an elderly woman who claimed she saw Marcus near the crime scene. There was no physical evidence, no gun, no fingerprints, nothing tying Marcus to the crime. Yet, the jury deliberated for only 3 hours before declaring him guilty. The judge's gavel fell. "Marcus Reed, you are hereby sentenced to 25 years in prison." Sandra collapsed in the courtroom. Marcus sat frozen. His life was over. Prison was brutal. As a scared, skinny teenager, Marcus was an easy target. He spent months in solitary confinement after a brutal assault, his only comfort the occasional letters from his mother. He grew up behind bars, missing milestones, his 18th birthday, his 21st, time blurred. He stopped counting the days. But deep inside, he held on to one thing, hope. 15 years into his sentence, Marcus had all but given up when a legal advocacy group, the Innocence Project, took interest in his case. A young lawyer, Olivia Carter, reviewed the files and immediately saw red flags. The lack of physical evidence. The unreliable witness testimony. Then came the bombshell, DNA testing on evidence found at the crime scene. A strand of hair that wasn't Marcus's. The real perpetrator had been out there all along. Filing for a retrial was an uphill battle. The justice system was slow to admit mistakes. The prosecutor resisted reopening the case, but mounting public pressure, sparked by a viral campaign led by activists, forced them to listen. At the retrial, new evidence was presented. The DNA results. A confession from an inmate who claimed the real shooter bragged about it years ago. The witness admitted her memory had been shaky from the start. After 20 years, the truth finally prevailed. The judge overturned Marcus's conviction. He was free. Walking out of prison, Marcus was 36. His mother, now older and frail, was waiting for him. He had missed 2 decades of life, but he wasn't bitter. He had a new mission, to fight for others who, like him, were wrongfully convicted. His story was one of injustice, but also of resilience. The system had failed him, but he had survived. And now, he was ready to make sure no one else suffered the way he had. This is not just Marcus's story. It's the story of countless others. How many more are out there, innocent yet imprisoned? And how many will never get their second chance? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.